Stories by Danielson. There's something really weird going on with a girl on my dorm floor.
I don't really know where to go with this story, considering most of my friends are the type that don't believe in ghosts or evil or demons or anything like that. I'm just feeling a little scared and helpless at this point, and I know if I tell my parents, they'll totally freak out and demand I come home, and then I'll be kind of screwed. My university has a kind of high dropout rate. My roommate my first semester of college ended up dropping out because she couldn't deal with the anxiety and her depression, but she's doing much better now. And my second roommate was an international student who ended up running out of money halfway through the semester and had to drop out. The rooms are set up with 2 bedrooms and 1 bathroom connecting them, with 2 people in either room. There's 8 rooms on my floor, all connected by a big common room in the center of us. Then there's a hallway, and then on the other side of the hallway is another pod like ours. The pods are separated by gender, so all rooms surrounding mine have girls in them. Most of the girls I've met have been super sweet. I'm ridiculously lucky to call one of them my closest friends. Her name is Anne, but we don't share a room or bathroom or anything. She lives across the pod. The girls I share the bathroom with are named Katie and Ashley, but Ashley moved out a week ago after she finished finals. A few of us still have finals to get through, so we're all in the dorm still. Katie still is in her room. At least, I think she is. I've heard someone using the bathroom and showering and stuff, just assuming it's her and not a ghost. There's only 4 of us left in our pod. Me, Katie, Anne, and Julie, who I've met a couple of times, but never really talked to. Julie's a little weird. I think her major is hospitality, but she's really not all that hospitable. Whenever I see her, she kind of stretches her lips into a long, thin smile. She never stops to talk. One time I stopped on campus when I saw her walking towards me and offered up a, "Hey, Julie, how's classes?" But she kept walking, didn't even look at me really, just stretched her lips into one of those long, thin smiles. Anne and I were hanging out in the pod last night, studying for our chemistry final. The pod has a couple of tables and a couch so people can hang out and chill between classes, or if their roommate is asleep and they want to study. The ceiling lights never turn off, ever. They're super bright too. It's kind of nice, comforting in a way, especially since my room is half empty with my roommate gone. I can look at the door at night and see the glow of the pod lights through the crack under the door and know that if something scares me in the dark, the light is only 3 really big steps away. But last night, the lights flickered. Anne and I were balancing an equation together, and the lights flickered. Not just one of them either, all of them at exactly the same time. We glanced at each other. Maintenance is usually on top of their stuff, and things like that just don't happen. Elevators don't break, showers don't break, lights do not go out. The lights suddenly started dimming, as if they had one of those sliding dimming light switches instead of the toggle ones. The lights just slowly got dimmer and dimmer. Anne and I didn't have to say anything to each other. It was so weird and creepy that we just grabbed our stuff and bolted for her door. She was putting her key into the lock when Julie's door opened. The lights were almost off in the pod, but across the room we could see Julie's figure standing in the doorway. All the lights in her room were off. She was just standing there. I could see her face, the thin-lipped smile. I'm just getting chills thinking about it. It was so bizarre. I bolted for the light switches as Annie slammed her bedroom door and locked it. I turned on every light I could. I slept on Anne's roommate's plastic mattress that night. I couldn't go back out there with all the lights off. This morning when we woke up, the lights were back on in the common room. I went back to my bedroom, showered and changed. Anne and I went to class together. I tried to talk about it with her on the way to class, but when I brought it up, she looked at me really confused, like she didn't know what I was talking about. Anne is really sweet. She doesn't pull pranks or tricks on people. So when I said, "What do you think happened last night?" and she replied, "What do you mean?" I knew something was super wrong. For a second, I figured I'd just dreamed the whole thing, but I slept over in her room. Why would I have slept over on her roommate's really uncomfortable, crinkly plastic mattress if nothing had happened? "In the pod last night, when the lights went off," I replied, watching her face for any sign of sudden realization or understanding. Anne stopped walking. "The lights didn't go off. We finished studying and went to bed." She replied carefully, watching my face as closely as I watched hers. "I slept over in your room," I replied, and she shook her head. "No, my room was empty last night." "Anne, when Julie..." We stared at each other, and Anne blinked at me a few times. Then she asked, "Who's Julie?" I sort of just dropped it, because we got to class, and it was a really important review for our exam. We're both moving out on Saturday, so I'm hoping that I can make it then without any weird dreams, I guess. Because it was just a dream, right? If Anne doesn't remember it, but she knows Julie. Julie's real. Julie exists. She was always at our meetings with the RA, and she went to on-campus activities sometimes. I saw her walking around, existing. Any advice on what to do here would be super appreciated, or at least some comforting words. That is, if you have any.